The Dershow.
Conspiracy theorists, including friends of mine, are saying, well, the Supreme Court is deliberately delaying this decision in order to give Trump a political advantage so that the case against him in Washington, D.C. Will be decided, obviously, against him in Washington, D.C. before the election will have an impact on the election. I don't think the case should be litigated before the election. I think it's clear election interference. It's a weak case, and it's a strong jurisdiction, obviously. And Jack Smith, there are questions about whether his appointment was an appropriate one. But in any event, the Supreme Court isn't part of some kind of a political conspiracy here. The justices are very split over the issue of Trump. Yes, they're conservative, 6-3. But of the 6 that are conservative, I'm not sure how many of them would call themselves pro-Trump. They certainly rendered many decisions that Trump did not like. Most recently, I would imagine the Republican Party was up in arms about the gun case in which the Supreme Court 8-1 ruled that somebody who has a outstanding order against him preventing him from seeing a woman who he has abused can have their guns taken away. To me, that was the right decision, but it was certainly not a pro-Republican decision. This morning, the Supreme Court granted review in a very, very complex and difficult issue of transgender medical procedures for children under the age of 18. The hardcore Republicans want to make sure that these statutes are upheld, and others have some different views about that. And so the court granting cert suggests that the majority of the justices think there are some problems with some of these statutes. It's a very complicated and difficult area. Obviously, 12, 13-year-old kids should not be permitted, even with parental consent, to have surgical procedures that are irreversible, and because 12 and 13-year-olds don't know who they are and what their future holds. But 17-year-olds, perhaps, who've gone through the horrors of being discriminated against, maybe do have the capacity to make a decision with parental advice. This is a case that the Supreme Court will consider and will render again. It won't be a 9-0 decision, and it will be a decision with 4 or 5 separate opinions. And that's what the Supreme Court does.